It's just another toy that Hollywood can use to pretend they're training hard and effectively. It doesn't matter if you do it wrong or halfway send with bullshit technique at a pace you could honestly just fall asleep to. Nobody cares about that. Actual effect? Who gives a shit? This is Hollywood. Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization. I am, in fact, a professor of exercise and sports science, and I'm here to appraise Mr. Hugh Jackman's training for the slink. I hope our editors can do something. It would be quite funny if they just left me doing that by myself. Wolverine. He's ferocious. He's vicious. His bones are made of adamantium, and when I'm talking about Wolverine, I get a bone of my own. It's made mostly of pathetically undersized. Anyway, let's get to the video and see what the training looks like. Scott, you trying to get my blood pressure up?
Yes, started it off right, baby. I know where to go.
There are two types of things called the clap. One of them is something you do with a push-up. And it is not ultra effective because we're training for Hollywood. We want to look like Wolverine. We don't actually do any of the crazy shit Wolverine does, like slice people in half. So body composition is really what you want to go for. There's an impact factor here when you come back down and hit your hands, and that actually causes a vastly disproportionate amount of fatigue, particularly to joints and connective tissues. In addition to that, he's not doing a push-up all the way down to depth, which means he's not getting a good stretch on his chest, shoulders, or triceps, which means the marginal gain in muscle growth stimulus from this exercise is considerably lower than just a regular push-up, way lower than a deficit push-ups where you put your hands on a plate and then you go down super deep for that stretch. So clapping push-ups are cool because if you're some combination of strong enough and usually just light enough, then you can do them, and it's like, oh, it's just pure show-off bullshit, because not only can you push, but you're, man, see, I've got time to clap. See, I don't even need all this time. So, yeah, that's cool, and his technique sucks because his shit breaks down, his hips sink, and yeah, this is not a great movement for enhancing body composition. Oh, and the second type of clap is a street slang for a particular kind of venereal disease. Hey, Scott, which one's clap? Can you please be f***ing useful for one day in your life, Scott, the video guy, and Google it? Gonorrhea. It is gonorrhea? Yeah. She's got the clap. What about the jack? The jack. That's chlamydia.
Yeah, she's got the jack.
Remember that, folks, for when you go to school and find out STDs are real, I guess. Good old clapping pull-ups in a hotel gym. Excellent. Clapping pull-ups again, just like clapping push-ups. It just illustrates that you can generate sufficient amount of power such that you can get some hang time and clap before you get back to the handles. Again, it's something that people do to show off. It's fun, but as a way to enhance your body composition, it's just not amazing at all. Again, he's not going all the way down for that deep stretch, so he's getting a cool clap going, which getting the clap is really fun, especially when your classmates find out. Post it all over the school. I'm just kidding. Your boy wasn't getting laid. No clap for me. Ooh, some squats. Mr. Jackman. So you guys will see right there, he's squatting in flat shoes, which most people should squat in properly heeled Olympic weightlifting shoes. This is something Olympic weightlifters, or as they like to call themselves properly, weightlifters. The sport starts with a W, it's weightlifting. They kind of lock the shit down. If you wear an Olympic weightlifting shoe, you're gonna be able to squat a lot better because it expands your ankle mobility by putting you on a heel. It makes you super, super stable, lets your knees go really far forward on the way down, keep your chest ultra upright, and make sure that the stimulus is both maximum and almost entirely for your legs instead of much more curtailed if you have to cut your depth like he does. And not as much for legs. There's some glute stuff going on there, a little bit of quad stuff too, but a lot of back because you can see he's leaning a ton. So yeah, not the ideal technique. Also, you notice if you're an asshole like me, you pay attention to the weights. He's lifting, it seems to be a nominal amount of weight. According to my gym math, that's like 100 pounds. For an adult man in his prime, motherfucker, you better be hurt or some shit like that. Oh shit, who the f is this guy? No, it's not some bald dude.
No.
You're kidding. Scott, you got a mislabeled video here, my friend.
So, let's see.
Okay. So this deadlift technique is quite good. The utility of the deadlift to body composition enhancement, to looking better naked and in Wolverine clothes, is high, but not usually worth the fatigue. If you want a bigger back, rows, pull-ups, pull-downs, things like that can give you just as big of a back with much less fatigue. I will say the deadlift is something that taller, skinnier lifters with long arms and not so strong legs love to do because they can lift a ton of weight with it. So if you have long arms, if you're taller and skinnier, you can't bench a lot, almost as a rule. Anthropometrically, it just doesn't make sense. Because you're tall, you usually have a short sitting height like he probably does, which means your torso is short relative to your femurs. And because you're skinny, you probably can't squat a lot. So that's 2 lifts out of the big 3 that like you're just never going to be impressive on, or at least for some time. The deadlift though, especially if you have a short torso and your arms are normal or longer than normal, then they hang down to your fucking knees, and then you can pick up anything God stapled to the earth. And Mr. Hugh Jackman's lifting a lot of weight there. Cool, great lift, mega accomplishment, and a fine way to get in shape for Hollywood, but probably not the best way. And I suspect the reason he's taken to deadlifting as much is, well, because he's good at it. And sometimes when you're good at some shit, you just want to do it. Like me and not getting laid.
What do you think of that look for him?
Oh my God, it's terrible. Get that out of my face.
It's Blackbeard.
He looks like Captain Morgan in like a post-institutional schizophrenic episode where they finally calmed him down, but he's already been shaved and processed, you know. Touch and go lifting is cool if you want to get a bunch of reps, but it eases up on you precisely when you want it to be hard. Deadlifting in competition is about being strong from the first pull. And you don't train like that when you do touch and go because the first pull's hard, but then the other ones are easy. Also, you get a lot of muscle growth from the deep stretch position. Now, the deadlift isn't that deep of a stretch to begin with, but he's making it even less of a deep stretch by getting into that bottom quarter of the deadlift and just quickly bouncing out of it, letting the weights do a lot of the bounce and thus sparing the muscles from doing much of that forced transition for him. So if he slowed the weight down on the way down, if he gently touched the ground, waiting half a second and then came up, or even put the weight down completely, unloaded it and then came up, he'd be getting just kind of more all around from this exercise. So the question is, why isn't he doing that? One, maybe just doesn't know. You know, I lifted touch and go for fucking years and I already had an undergrad and exercise science, still didn't know. So no big deal. But another reason, it's like you could just lift way more reps with a given weight like this. If you can do stop and start 3 reps at 315, you can almost certainly do at least 6 reps touch and go at 315. Same person, especially if you get good at the timing of touch and go, which everyone does through practice. So a lot of people do touch and go deadlifting precisely because they can do a lot. But just because you can do a lot, should you? I submit that the answer is no, because remember, you're there to get the most out of the gym that you can. You're there for results, not just to deadlift. And if you want to deadlift, dope, touch and go all you want. But then you have to ask yourself the question of like, well, if I really want to deadlift a lot because I'm there for the deadlift, shouldn't I do it like powerlifters do? Could they get stronger than me? Then they don't do touch and go either. So touch and go is for people that like to do touch and go. You know, every time he comes back, there's almost this kind of spastic rush back into the next rep. That's because intuitively, I think your body understands that the longer you hold on to a deadlift bar, the more it drains your energy away. People learn this through multiple workouts, and eventually they just try to get through everything really quick. Like click, 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 and I'm out. And that kind of thing degrades the quality of the movement. It's not the worst thing in the world, but you want to be in for every rep as a quality rep. Slow eccentric, control, gentle touch, full lockout. That's how typically people train for the deadlift on the RP Hypertrophy app. With over 28 preset programs already in the app, you can choose to make your own, you can modify an existing program, or you can just run the programs exactly as they were written by me personally. This app programs everything for you. Exercises, weights, sets, reps, frequency, the whole thing. After every single workout on every single week, the app adjusts to your unique parameters with every single input. We have over 250 exercises in the app with detailed video tutorial links to every single one. You never have to be confused about technique or form ever again. I'm guessing right now you're pretty interested in the app? Download the RP Hypertrophy app today. Oh my God. I want to come up to that guy, I don't know who that guy is in the frame, I assume it's his trainer, and be like, come here. You need to go back to school. Nope, shut up, I don't give a fuck. Read this. Instability training. What does it do, folks? I will continue to repeat this, because clearly not all of us have gotten the memo. When you are working on a task that requires a crap load of stability, your body turns off its ability to produce high forces because it's trying to keep you safe. Because if Hugh Jackman rocketed up off that ball, he'd flip right off it, kill himself. Your body's smarter than that. So when it finds you standing on ice, for example, it won't let you jump or run really fast because that'll get your ass hurt or killed. So because it caps your nervous system's ability to activate the muscles of your lower body, how the f is it supposed to push those same muscles to their limits to grow? The answer is it doesn't. So when you're on a Bosu ball, the muscle fraction of your muscle called motor units, the parts of your muscles and the nerves that innervate them, that grow the most are up here. The ones that grow not so much are down here. Okay, it's all an even spectrum. And standing on the Bosu ball cuts your maximum force right here, just below anything that would have really grown you. Another way to think about this is you have someone really jacked. You hand them a 10-pound dumbbell and you say you can't do any more than 10 reps without taking 2 minutes of rest. And it's got to be with this 10-pound dumbbell, nothing heavier, get bigger. They'll be like, but there's no way I can push myself hard enough. Really, get creative. It's a non-starter. The Bosu ball does not belong in the gym. One of my mentors in my master's program came back from something and the lab had a Bosu ball we were testing for one another thing. We actually were testing to see power production. And of course, it failed all the tests. And he walks in and the ball's just sitting there and he just like walks by and kicks it as far as he can across the office. Greatest use for Bosu ball I've ever seen. And that's about all it's good for. I just don't think these things should be in gyms. The gym is a place to transform your body with effective modalities. It's not a place for fucking toys. You want a toy? Buy a blow-up doll. If this video is going okay and you guys want more racy, juicy stuff, you can finish the video or you could head over to our members section where the fun is just getting started. Totally, almost completely, mostly unedited XXX content. See you in the members area. Oh God, this figure 8 bullshit. Guys, I got a great solution to this. Is take one dumbbell in each hand at the same time. Both hands have dumbbells, it auto balances you, and now you can do walking lunges and focus exclusively on which part is the lunge part. That's what you're there for. That's what grows you. This pass around the fucking bullshit around the back, fadeaway J shit, it doesn't fucking do anything. It's a waste of cognitive bandwidth. It adds extra complexity to the task. Scott, is this a Joel Seedman video again? Are we back to 90-degree isometric concentrics or whatever the fuck that dumbass motherfucker talks about all the time? Guys, this is peak Hollywood. Take some shit that works, dilute it, add in a sprinkle of bullshit that looks fancy, and you selling Hollywood water to rich people. It's a good business model. Fucking Christ. It's every single fucking thing, Scott. Sled pushing is really good for people that want to get good at pushing the sled. But typically when you want to get good at sled pushing, that means you want to do it for a short sprint. Because in games like football, wrestling, rugby, being able to push someone really hard, especially sumo wrestling, is a big deal. And a great way to train that is to put some heavy fucking weight on a sled and push that motherfucker for 2 meters, 4 meters, call it 6 meters. At what we in sports science call a maximum intent to move. I'm not going to say fast because the resultant speed is low because the shit is so heavy, but you're trying to go as fast as you can. This is like getting ready for the fucking slavery scene in Conan the Barbarian or whatever the fuck, where like he just slowly pushes a fucking winch around until they're like, the Empire's not even around. You could just go home, man. What is the point of this? What is being trained? It's not a very high rate of calorie burn. You can't complete it for enough repetitions. You're not going to do this for 3 hours and burn a crap load of calories. 30 minutes, you're not going to do this. It doesn't convey a lot of hypertrophy because it misses the eccentric phase altogether. It's concentric only. And it's not being done at an athletic pace, so it confers no advantage there. What is it for? I have an answer for you. It's just another toy that Hollywood can use to pretend they're training hard and effectively. And because it's hardcore and athletes do it, quote unquote, then we're in. Doesn't matter if you do it wrong or halfway send with bullshit technique at a pace you could honestly just fall asleep to. Nobody cares about that. Actual effect, who gives a shit? This is Hollywood.
Love it.
Yep. Goblet squats for people that are not weak suck. If you simply put the weights behind you on your back, your legs could create much more tension. You would not be limited by your ability to hold the dumbbell and your arms, which is almost certainly what Hugh Jackman is being limited by. That's the most challenging part of this movement, is holding the f***ing dumbbell. And because it's ostensibly a leg exercise, how could that possibly be? Whatever it is that is the thing you're training or trying to hypertrophy the most, that should be a limiting factor. If your quads give out on you while you're leg pressing, you're doing it right. If your arms and shoulders give out on you while you're doing goblet squats suck.
Hate it. Love it. Love it anymore.
Stop seemingly infinity reps from failure. Typical.
I understand that you have 3 different sets of clothes for the different sizes of Hugh.
There's boxes in my storage. Fat suits, skinny suits, normal suits.
When was he fat?
And and right now, in this shape, I don't have any suits. So I just wear...
He's got veins. His veins got veins. He looks great.
I just wear track pants a lot.
Hey, Scott, you see this footage, right? How close are their feet in that shot?
Oh, like on top of each other.
On top of each other. That, like, because I've been in real shoots before now, when it looks like people are far apart on camera, they're in real life f***ing next to each other.
Yeah, boy.
This is because he's really like here and be like, yes, I'll answer your questions. Get out of my face, please. But to be close to Mr. Hugh Jackman, the world.
What's the diet like?
The diet
The
is-
Wolverine diet.
Scott, could you do faces that chummy if they paid you for it? The Wolverine diet. I guarantee you that guy finishes a shoot and he's like, get the f*** out of here. I used to be a great reporter. God damn it. Oh, go interview Hugh Jackman. Who the f*** is that? I'm #1. I guarantee you that guy's thinking that shit.
The Wolverine diet is strict. It's about 4,000 calories a day.
Strict and 4,000 calories don't seem like they line up. Call me crazy.
Maybe 4.5 as I'm bulking up, and then it drops down as I'm leaning up. Drops down to about 3,500 calories.
That's a high level of physical activity. That's a lot of calories.
Not the fun calories. This is the chicken, fish, maybe steak, always protein, 6 times a day.
That's cool. That works. You can get just as shredded and lean as jacked, probably eating protein 4 times a day. 4, 5, and 6, there's almost no difference, perhaps none at all in almost every case. And if you like eating frequently, dope, but don't feel like you have to eat 6 meals a day. 4 meals a day is a really good start. That's how Grandpa did it. That's how Dad did it.
Steamed vegetables and occasionally some brown rice or something like that.
Hugh, it's unlikely that you got to 3,500 calories occasionally eating brown rice. I promise you there was quite a bit of it. And 4,500. I bet you ate quite a bit.
Protein shakes and just like that. No alcohol, no sugar, pretty much nothing that's fun.
If you're bulking, you can have a lot of sugar. If you're cutting and your hunger isn't driving you crazy, you can have plenty of sugar, especially around your workouts, and be totally good. This kind of needless puritanical obsession with fitness is old news. It's pre-2010. All right, so that was fun. If by fun you mean reviewing people who are in the spotlight doing things that are neither very efficient nor effective. But Mr. Hugh Jackman will forever be in my heart as the original Wolverine. I know, comic book people, he's not the original Wolverine. And he's also Australian. Sore. I can't really hate him. And so I give Mr. Hugh Jackman a 10 out of 10 for being an awesome human being, as far as I know. And I give his workout practices Oh, 6 out of 10. If the general idea of training hard and doing hardcore stuff is there, with the implementation and the actual hardcore stuff itself, I've had better. I've had better. All right. Time to go get an adamantium bone in me. Seriously. I'm going to go do unchristian-like things. See myself out. See you guys next time. All right, that was fun. If you want more fun, you can continue to doom scroll through YouTube by clicking on this video here, which is probably quite good.